What's going on, everybody? I'm sure that you've gotten used to this backdrop. I thought that I would hang out with you a little bit this afternoon. Well, it's my afternoon. What do we got here? It's 3:30 in the afternoon. And yeah, I thought I'd hang out, answer some questions. What's going on, Jacob? Santiago in the house. What's going on, everybody? So we'll treat this like an open Q&A. We'll treat it like a chat. Normally, I hang out with you guys in the premieres in the chat room, but this time we're on camera. We're just here to hang out. I've been working all day. Went and got. You can see my new fresh. Let me just see if we can see it from the back there. Got the fresh haircut. We got cut up a little bit. Had to look a little bit better. I was starting to get a little disheveled and not put together. And you can see I don't even have my PPA shirt on today. We got just like regular old Joe clothes on. That's it. What do we got here? Jacob, I'm doing very well. And I had a great workout today. What else did I have going on today? I mean, aside from we didn't sleep well last night. Again, my son has been teething baby problems. So teething is having, an issue with the sleep. But that being said, it's one of those things. What do we got here? 1 to 10 HiQ rating. I'm enjoying it. Like if I had to give it an honest rating, like a 9. I'm like, and that's high. Like I don't just throw 10s around. I've had a handful of 10s in terms of show, but definitely a strong 9. I'm really enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the character development. I'm enjoying being introduced to all the new characters. And of course, the gameplay, it's quite realistic, to be honest. I'm a huge fan of how realistic it is. What do you think about Russia? I love Russia. I went to Russia back in 2012 to Moscow for the Moscow Open 3-on-3 basketball tournament, as well as one of the biggest dunk contests in the world. And I was invited out there with myself and some of my friends, and we had a Project Pure Athlete team out there representing, and I competed in a big dunk contest, and it was awesome. And the people of Moscow were wonderful people. Russian people were just super nice, super welcoming, and the weather was actually surprisingly good. I imagine that in the winter it's not the greatest. I mean, where I'm at, it's not the greatest. But I had a great time in Russia. Spasiba. So yeah. What do we got here? Questions. Do you feel like you're working more on social media now? If so, is it stressful? That's a great question. And I want to be able to pronounce your name properly. Is it, I can't pronounce it properly. Like Miguel, I know you're like, is it last name? Is it Yao? Yeah. I apologize. I can't pronounce it properly, but either way, I appreciate the question. I've always been very involved in our social media. The reason that we've grown to where we're at is just a slow, steady burn over years. I've been going with almost daily posts on the Instagram for 4 or 5 years now. And it's a lot of work. But I've always kept in mind that I'm working for my family. I'm working to establish a strong brand and a strong business that's recognized globally as being leaders in the space. And the work that myself and Coach Chase have done over the last handful of years has put us in a position where we're doing that. So yeah, it's a lot of work, and I try to answer all my comments and questions and everything personally, whether it's by typing back with my super sore thumbs by the end of the day, or just sending a voice message. So if you're not already following us on Instagram, it's Project Pure Athlete. We have a larger Instagram account than our YouTube. We're building our YouTube. You guys are wonderful that you're here all the time. You're supportive, you're positive, and I love that. That's what I'm a huge fan of as a coach. So yeah, it's tiring at times, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Uruguay, Santiago, appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. Down south, freeze the bitter thing, then give it to the child. Thanks, Jessica. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff to help him with the pain associated with teething, and he's just growing really fast. He's 15 months old. He's got 10 teeth, and he's huge. He's like 110% on the height percentile scale. He's really tall. So far, I don't know how well they can project that over the years, but he's a big boy. He's blabbing all the time. He's climbing all over everything, jumping off stuff, throwing stuff, dunking basketballs in his tiny little basketball net. So I love him to death. He's everything for me. What do we got here? About to go watch one of your reactions, Sevdora. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me know leave a comment. YouTube algorithm is a thing that I'm just like starting to figure out how important it is for comments. And, you know, I appreciate everybody that takes the time to even just like let me know how they enjoyed it or something that could change. All the feedback is appreciated. Latvia. Hello, Latvia. I'm coming at you from Southern Canada, and we're right across from Detroit, Michigan. So knowing that you're tuning in from Latvia is everything. Thank you. How's it going? Glad to be in the stream. Shadow, it's going, man. It's going. Appreciate it. I say man. I don't know if you're man. That's just colloquial. I apologize if that's offensive. Jacob, how do you add more speed to a 2-foot jump? I find myself having a lot of trouble adding speed to my 2-foot jumps. That's a great question. Adding speed is it's always troublesome, right? It's going to be progressive, number one, so it's going to happen over time. Number two is going to be as you introduce more speed, you subsequently need more stability and strength to handle the speed, right? Just adding more speed for the sake of more speed is really just kind of speeding you toward making faults that you're already making. So you're going to want to be introducing elements of stability training into your protocol. Single leg hops. We have a really good single leg hop series that's a part of our missing link jump technique program that have done wonders for helping people be able to absorb and translate more forces when they jump. So I would start there. And also more short approach work. So not always your full approach. When you can master the last 3 steps, 4 steps, and you build it out from there as you start to become a better, more efficient jumper. When you were dunking professionally, did you have as good of a jump understanding as you do now? Of course not. Liam, that's a great question though. You know, I've been a coach. To give you a little bit of a context. I started as a personal trainer when I was 19, and that would be 17 years ago. And started training just anybody that would let me train them and help them get fitter and healthier. And that built out through my university years as I went through school, and I took clients on the side as I was going through human kinetics and my teacher's education as well. And I was quite aware of elements of jumping as I was involved in being an athlete, but it wasn't until I got kind of closer to my later 20s that I started to really put a lot of pieces together and was able to bridge the gap between like me doing it personally and then how to teach it. Because just because you can do something does not mean you can teach it. And there's a lot of examples out there of athletes who are phenomenally talented athletes, but not great at teaching, not necessarily great at the other end of the spectrum. And that's not a bad thing or a diss. It's just the fact of the matter is some people are built to be educators and some people aren't. And that takes a lot of other skill sets. So I really worked on becoming a better communicator versus, how much I knew about jumping. That came with just more exposure, more studying, more, just general understanding. Good question though. What do I think about Italy? I've only been to Rome, so I've done the tourist thing. We finished our honeymoon cruise, ported in Rome, and spent the day there. It really, so unfortunately I don't think I really got to experience. That's not true. We were in, where else did we go in Italy? We went another place in Italy. I can't remember now. A couple different spots, a couple different days. Unfortunately, Rome was tough because that was the same day of the shooting at the MGM in Las Vegas. And obviously my partner, Coach Chase, was actually there with his wife and their friends, and they were involved in it. So we were in a text conversation back and forth, and it was wild. So we were really distracted, unfortunately, in Rome, and didn't really get to enjoy it the same way we did. I've enjoyed, as much as I can remember from it, but I got a couple friends that are Italian, and much love for Italy. Much love. I know you are watching Haikyuu, but there are any other anime series that you would like or have watched? I've thought about the Kuroko no Basket, the basketball one, and possibly giving that a try. It's really just making sure I can fit things into the rotation, right? I have limited time to be able to do stuff like this because I have other things going on with the company, with the business. It's much bigger than our YouTube and Instagram alone. So, prioritizing time and trying to find out where it fits. But listen, I've never been involved in the anime world till recently, and if one show can do it, I'm sure another one can. That's for sure. How's that apple? It's it's back to the earth now. It was delicious. It was a honey crisp. It was perfect. It's snappy. An apple is all about the snap for me. I want to be able to bite into an apple and just kind of just pop off a nice piece. Good mouthfeel, you know. Appreciate that. It was great. An apple a day for Tyler Ray. All right, what do we got here? Love from Canada. I'm also from Canada, so love back to Canada from Canada. There we go, Team Canada. Is there a sport you would want to play but haven't yet? That's a great question. I've surprisingly been involved in a lot of sports. I have a rich history of finding love of a sport, diving in, trying to get good at it, and then transitioning to a new one. I've played, like to put it, what have I done competitively? Basketball, volleyball, beach volleyball, track and field, dunking, 5-pin bowling. I dove when I was younger. I did a little MMA for a couple of years, trained mostly, didn't get into a fight. That was when I was teaching and I didn't want to mess up the face. But I've done a lot of things. I think if I could have gone back and tried something, it probably would have been football, American football, not European football. The reason is that our high school didn't have a football team. It was banned at our high school because of a death that happened back in the 80s. Unfortunately, we weren't able to play football, but I think I would have loved to have given that a try. I'm not even sure what position I would have played. I had a good arm, maybe QB, but at the same time, it was more about like the athleticism, the sprinting. I was fast. So I'm not sure. But I think I'd give football a try. What do we got here? I also might have tried fighting a couple times as well, just to play around with it. I know my height projection was terrifyingly accurate. Got it down to a centimeter. Shadow, I'm a man. All good. Perfect. All man. Shadow. There we go. Fran, Slovenia. How you doing? If you know where that is, I do know where that is. You love my work and passion. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I always say it's my pleasure and my passion, because it is. Like I would do this no matter if people paid attention to it or not. It's all I really know in terms of how to commit fully to something that I've tried other jobs. I've had jobs in periphery. I was a teacher. I've worked and dabbled as I was involved in other relationships where people weren't as supportive of me trying to create something for myself. And I've worked jobs that I've hated. And I realized pretty early on that I needed to be my own boss, and not everybody can be that. Okay. I think that's one of the most important things to remember, is that entrepreneurship is enticing, right? When you look at it, you look at someone doing their thing and living their life, and you see someone successful, it's very easy to get lost in the fact that that climb is super difficult, and oftentimes comes with more stress than being and working for someone else, just different. So it's been a long, hard grind, and I'm still every single day trying to be better. But it's you're fueled by your passion. Some people will say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I completely disagree. I disagree on so many levels with that statement. That being said, I understand what they were trying to say. I think for me, it's that when you do what you love as a job, doing the job becomes more enjoyable versus it's still a lot of work. And if it's not work, then you're likely going to spin your wheels in one place for a while. So we're at a point now where we consult with other people on how to build themselves their own businesses. So do you know who Connor Barth is? His jump techniques look hella nice. Jacob, yes. Connor and I talk all the time, and Connor is one of our certified Project Pure Athlete technique coaches. So he and I met 3 years ago or so, and I've done a lot of mentoring behind the scenes with Connor, and I'm very proud of Connor for the growth he's made, and the fact that he's starting to coach now. But yeah, he came down and took our level 1 course, and it was a joy. He's getting a firmer and firmer understanding of everything every single day, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's motivated by the right things. Yeah, I love Connor. I know you've talked about playing volleyball. Can you share how far you went with that and if you still play? So I played through high school. I played intramural through university as I competed on the track and field team. And then in my 4th year university, I tried out and made the university team, but then I had to quit before season started due to some family issues. So I could play at a university college level. And after that, I continued to play in a recreational sense. I did 3 years competitive doubles beach and played in some tournaments all through the States and Southern Canada and enjoyed that as well. I actually think beach I was better at overall than court, even though on the court I could jump much higher. It just played to my strengths. I could jump all game. I could play the net the entire game, which was played to the fact that I obviously had a lot of jump endurance. Granny Smith apples are good for a snap. Yes, they are, Jessica. They are. They're a little like a little too tart for me. I like a Granny Smith every now and then, but like you got to be prepped. Sometimes they make your jaw hurt a little bit because they got that acidity to it. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's it. I don't need Dr. Schmochters. I play football. Football. That's good. You know what? I just reacted to that. We'll be posting, what's today? Tuesday. I'll be posting this Friday. I reacted to Lionel Messi. We have a reaction to Cristiano Ronaldo and a reaction to Ronaldinho. So make sure you check those out if you haven't. Do you have any tips for dunking off the dribble with a ball in your hands? We do. We actually have 2 videos on our channel, tutorial videos where I walk you through how to do that. Dunking with a ball in your hand off 1 and off 2 feet. So you can check that out versus me diving too much into it. But in a nutshell, as the ball in your hand, that ball becomes an extension of your arm drive and your arm strike. So we utilize what's called a crossbody arm drive. So as you're pushing through that penultimate stride, that long stride, that ball comes to your kind of off hip. And as you drive that block to the ground is when you strike the ball with your block foot. So go watch that tutorial. You might have to scroll back a little bit, or you can type in, I think it's how to dunk like LeBron is the one off 1 foot, and off 2 feet is how to dunk with the ball in your hand off 2 feet. It's in there somewhere, or you can scroll through our videos. It's back a bit. Jacob says, Jessica, a bucket of balls a day keeps the bad habits away. A bucket of balls, like volleyballs? Not following, Jessica. I'm juvenile. I read balls and I just started laughing. So huge fan of both you and Connor. Beautiful. Thanks, Jacob. Do you think I could be an underdog volleyball player like Hinata, even though I'm 5'8"? Of course. Listen, Hinata is representative of someone that is driven by their absolute undying and unrelenting love for something. So that is why I'm, he rings true with me, and I'm almost 6'1". It doesn't have anything to do about being short. It's that if you're pushed by your passion and you make that your priority, then you have the ability to become as great as you're willing to kind of walk down that path. And at the end of the day, that's the difference between good and great to me, is the people that are willing to make the sacrifices and put in that extra work. So yeah. Wavy, I'm 5'5" and I play volleyball. Let's go. Really? Can you spike? So yeah. You can watch actually Coach's Breakdown. Donnie and I did over at Elevate Yourself. He threw some photos in there. I got some old photos of my belly button up near the top of the net. I had a 48-inch official vertical tested legitimately more than once, and I could hit my head off the rim, and yeah, I could jump. I could definitely jump. I have a 24-inch vert, but if I'm able to increase it, I probably could. There you go. And everybody can increase their vertical. Everybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. It comes down to, number one, how bad do you want it? Are you wishing for it, right? Or are you actually making appropriate steps forward? Okay, that's what we have to ask ourselves right out of the gate, is how badly do you want it? We teach people how to do it the right way, meaning this is training for longevity. This is training to put you in a place where you're not only getting gains, but you're keeping them. There are a lot of methods out there that'll help you jump higher very quickly, but they sacrifice other elements that you tend to become injured very quickly. Our body is able to increase its ability to produce force faster than its able to increase its ability to exhibit strength, which are two, force and strength, they overlap. However, one is at a higher velocity. So we can usually train our bodies to produce force at a faster rate than we can produce and sustain that through just general strength. So what happens is you increase your force production too quickly without your strength, stability, and your joint integrity. We get a lot of injuries happening with tendon insertion points, etc. Eric, hey coach, did you get to connect with Victoria Garrett for the collab? I haven't. She hasn't, I don't think, seen any of the messages. I've tried to reach out over Instagram where we have a bigger following, but she's like us. She'll have a secondary inbox where stuff will just probably come in very quickly and get buried. So I understand that. I'm sure if she comes across the videos, or if you guys help me out, leave comments on her videos, let her know about old coach over here with Project Pure Athlete. I'd love to get some collaborative content in with Victoria. She's got some great stuff, great message, and she seems like a very good person, which I can get behind. Bucket of volleyball, softballs, baseballs, hitting pitches, spiking, setting. Got you, balls. Got you, Jessica. Your programs have drills for increasing power in the upper body, especially volleyball mechanics. So my programs aren't designed, they're not volleyball skill specific, meaning they're not like, I'll teach you how to hit a volleyball. They are performance-based, strength and power progression, as well as building the mechanics, the ability of your body to perform the mechanics of a volleyball game. So it's essentially, we become your strength conditioning coaches. This program, we just released an off-season 12-week program that was on sale all weekend. A lot of you jumped on board. It's awesome to see so many people committing to their training and committing to obviously being better than they were before. So if you're looking for that, what we can do, we'll put it in the thread here. This is projectpureathlete.com/shop. And old coach is going to give you promo code for 10% off. You think about that. There you go. So lots of programs. We have off-season volleyball programs. We have bodyweight and bands volleyball programs in case you don't have a lot of equipment. We have the best jump technique protocol in the game. This is what we're well known for. So we have the Missing Link jump technique program that is a great addition to any program you're doing, meaning that this works. I programmed it specifically to work alongside any other program. I don't care who you're training with, what you're training. If you do this program beside it, your results will come faster because we're going to build the efficiency, right? You work so hard to get stronger, more powerful. Technique is the vehicle. It's like you put all the work into the engine. Let's give a vehicle that can really produce those results for you. Fazed, hey man, hope you're well. Love from the UK. Appreciate it. Thanks, mate. There we go. Opinion on Among Us. Yeah, it's off topic. I don't care though. Jessica, I like you. You're just straight to the point. I don't have an opinion because I'm not familiar with Among Us. I'm not even certain whether you're talking, is it a video game or is it a movie? I feel like I know a video game called Among Us, but I could be wrong. You have to understand that, again, like I said before, my time is limited to what I'm able to divide my attention to, which is why even when I watch the new episodes of Haikyuu, I have to remind myself beforehand what happened in the previous episodes, because I'm trying to be very involved. I am involved, but as soon as the episode's over and I edit and upload, it's like it switches off and I go on to the next thing. It's the only way I know how to be productive and stay productive. Among Us is a video game. Yeah, I thought so. I've never played it, so I don't know. My opinions on video games are they're fun. And for me, it's like finding one that I can commit to for any length of time. I played one called Oblivion. Oblivion? Is that what it's called? It was created from the creators of an old video computer game called Myst. And it was like almost like a puzzle game where it's like you're kind of stranded in this area and you have to find your way out by finding clues and stuff. I like stuff like that makes me think. That, and I used to play Call of Duty back in the day, and Street Fighter with my brother with the old arcade pads. That was what I could get behind. Hey, coach, is it okay to exercise in the cold? I don't really have room in my house to do plyometric exercise. I usually work on the garage. Yeah. If you feel, sorry, the apple is just like right there. yeah, if you don't have space in your house, obviously it's one of those things where you gotta make do with what you have. And as an athlete, I mean, the amount of workouts and times I've went and played sports outside in freezing cold. I live in Canada, for God's sakes. I mean, half the year it's cold. So, I used to in the winter when I would hoop and play basketball, I bought scuba diving gloves made of neoprene. And when neoprene gets wet, it gets a bit sticky, and they're form fitting gloves. So I used to be able to hoop in the winter with neoprene gloves. I used to buy them at Walmart. But yeah, you just gotta make sure you're warm, right? And I would progress your plyometrics over the first like 5-10 minutes just to make sure you feel your muscles feel nice and juicy. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. All right. Am I to the end of these questions here? I'm fast. Gotten through these questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. This is fun. I want to get. I think I'm going to give like a longer heads up before another live, so that we'll get lots of people on here. Obviously, this was last minute. We got 30 people in here. There we go. Everybody's just hanging out. I appreciate you. Hope you like the crispy setup. I try to make sure that the quality of everything I do is also good. You probably notice that I take pride in the editing behind the clips and not just pumping out a ton of content. Like I really enjoy the editing process from an artistic standpoint and an expression standpoint. Everything for the most part that I do aside from editing YouTube videos is a little bit more serious, right? There's a lot more weight into like my professional career. And I mean, that being said, I'm a goof regardless. I think people that have worked with me before know that. But when it comes to editing videos, I have so much fun with it. I really, really do. What clothes do you wear when you run? I wear, depends what type of running I'm doing. If I go out for a jog, it just depends if it's cold out or not. Typically, I'll wear some sort of like long tight underneath a running pant, and then probably some sort of base layer and a slightly thicker. I might even jog in a hoodie, some gloves, a toque, and my shoes with a nice pair of socks on. In the summer, wearing shorts and depends how warm it is out. Maybe pop the top and work out like that. Depends. If I've been eating a lot of cake, probably keep the top on. But yeah, that's what I run in. When I was a track athlete, I lived in like spandex. Everything was tights, right? Short tights, long tights, all that stuff. What do we got here? We got dogs or cats? Dogs. We have a dog, a golden doodle. His name is Lincoln, and he's a big black golden doodle. He's 100 pounds, and he's a wonderful goofball. I can dunk a tennis ball consistently. Do you think it's okay for me to try dunking a basketball using a self-lob? You can listen. There's no like you got to wait until you do this till you do the next thing. When I was growing up and trying to learn how to dunk, I would try all the time to dunk everything. I used to dunk garbage and tennis balls and volleyballs and baseballs, and then I got to be able to dunk, and it was like dunk a basketball, dunk a medicine ball, I just dunk everything. And you dunk all the nets you come across. You jump as much as you can, within reason, obviously. But yeah, go for it. Work like a lob is another skill set altogether, right? You have to understand when it comes to dunking, there's two skills, right? Jumping is one, and dunking is another skill. That's why low rim dunking is so important for people that are trying to become dunkers, because the skill behind dunking is exceptionally challenging as well. Good dunkers make dunking look easy because they've done it a lot. It's like anything else. Was my question off topic? Where was your question, David? Oh, do you have any tips for jumping for overweight people, as in ways to reduce the chance of injury? David, I'm gonna straightforward with you. Okay, overweight. There's obviously a big range of what overweight is. When someone is trying to introduce jumping, like they're like, I'm falling in love with jumping, and you maybe are carrying around some excess body mass, it's in your best interest to prioritize your health when it comes to again, there's a lot of factors that contribute to somebody being overweight. Okay. And I'm saying this from like first-hand experience that I have battled with weight throughout being an athlete. And it's one of those things that it just never goes away. But if it means enough to you, you're going to value what goes into your body. You're going to value how hydrated you are. You're going to value the type of training you do and progression. You're going to want to make sure that you have a lot of baseline general strength, which means you're going to want to build up just a good strength base to be able to support all the forces. So you have to think heavier body mass plus gravity, right? Plus acceleration is going to put a lot of forces on the joints. So you're going to want to make sure that you set yourself up for success. The training that goes into getting you generally stronger, right, in combination with good nutrition and some conditioning on the side, should help you manage your body composition along the way as well. So give it a go. We have some good options on our remote training as well, which we have where we train through our Train Heroic training app, and you can be coached by us. And those are all options as well. info@projectpureathlete.com if you are interested in that. Not a question. Okay, Eric. Appreciate that forward. But I can't wait for you to start watching Haikyuu Season 4. Got to get through 1, 2, and 3 first. But yeah, I've got a lot of people talking to me about Season 4. I think that's like the case with most shows. Maybe not. Maybe I'll eat my words there. But especially with this being, a lot of character development, athletes in the show getting better and better and better. I think the gameplay obviously is going to be better, and they probably learn how to animate and create that show even better as the seasons went on. So I get you. Our gyms out here in Latvia are closed. I'm going to be in Latvian Beach Volleyball Elite, and we have access to a gym. Beautiful. Oscars. Yeah, we're closed down here too. We're actually in an emergency mandatory stay-at-home orders right now, which means I got an illegal haircut today. But I have a photo shoot, which is also illegal, on Thursday for our new website. And as much as I agree with people being safe, when I'm doing any of these illegal things, it's like me saying, oh, don't worry, but I wore a helmet. I'm as safe as I can be, masks, all that good stuff, washing my hands. Yeah, I feel your pain. It sucks, especially when you don't have access to basic things and going out and exposure to people. It's putting a lot of really healthy people at risk for being unhealthy just from keeping them in the home. So it's a whole other conversation. Do you have any opinions of Ultra Boosts or running shoes in general? So, what's funny is I haven't purchased a pair of running shoes in a long time. I've been out of the world of track and field for as a running track and field athlete for like 15 years. I used to wear Asics pretty much exclusively. I had a couple pair of New Balance. Adidas and Nike running shoes never did it for me. I had one pair of Nike Frees that I enjoyed. I didn't even like to run in them though. They were just comfortable to wear in the gym. What is the point of ladder drills? I recently bought some agility ladders and I don't really know how it can benefit my athletic performance. Ladder drills are multi-purposed. So from a change of direction standpoint, they provide a good amount of stimulus in a whole bunch of different ways. Foot speed, rhythm, timing, breathing. It's really meant as an agility-based protocol for athletes looking to get quicker footwork. But for me, we use it a lot more for introducing elements of connectedness and rhythm, because the more connected an athlete is, foot in, foot out, switch in behinds, all these different things, the smoother transition they make into their sport as well. Who do you got, Jay Clark or Staples? And what do you think about the whole dispute there? Appreciate you. Alan, what's up, man? It's one of our OGs here. Okay, who do I have? Out of the two of them, I'm going to put my money on John Clark, Jay Clark. This is aside from the fact that he's team PPA. It's the fact that, number one, he's been putting hella work in. Okay, he's hungry. Staples is doing a lot of talking right now. Listen, I know both of them. I've dunked with both of them. I've spent time with both of them, and I like both of them. But if I'm putting my money on someone for like an hour-long dunk session and kind of it being judged, I'm going to put my money on John. Chris is going to do the dunks he does, and he's going to do them well. But John's got a deep bag, and it was a battle on Dunk League, big-time battle. The back and forth, I think, is fun. I think the sport needs that. I think the sport needs that healthy, competitive fire. That's my own opinion. Best exercise for hip extension power. There's lots, Sebastian. It's one of those things where many tools for the job. Some people might argue like cleans. I'd argue that cleans are an effective hip extension movement if you're good at cleans. A lot of people are not good at cleans. And some people are like, I can do cleans. And I watch it and I'm like, not really. It's like a glorified reverse curl. Hip extension power, hip thrusts are good, right? Loaded hip thrusts work really, really well. Especially love single leg hip thrusts and other elements of hip. I mean, deadlift variations work really well, but a lot of tools for the job. Poland, what's going on, Poland? I'm watching now Volleyball Champions League, and I'm curious, is there any volleyball player or team which do you like the most? So I'm not following volleyball right now. I'll be honest with you. You ready? And I'm ready for like my people watching just to drop off right now when I'm just telling you the truth, because this is the honest truth. Is I probably watch the least amount of sports of like any sports related coach out there. And I'll tell you why. I'm just on a different path right now. And the path is to help our message reach as many people as possible when it comes to coaching and training and building this brand and putting my family and Coach Chase's family in a position where we can thrive off of this for our entire lifetimes and leave a legacy. So I don't have a lot of time that I sit down and watch sports. I watch a lot of highlights. And to be perfectly honest, I'm just a huge fan of sports and the sport. I don't really get tied into a lot of like individual players and individual teams. I grew up moving around a lot. I moved 24 times growing up. My dad's military. So we really never had like a home where we could root for the home team. Like people grow up in like an area and they attach to a team. There was a segment of years there where probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, I watched a lot of basketball in high school. But I watched the Raptors when Vince and T-Mac and Antonio Davis and all those guys were there. Because that was as close as I, could get to the sport. And I met a lot of those guys. So like, I enjoyed it then, but then people in the NBA moved around. A lot of people was just very money driven. And I'm still a huge fan of the sport. I love watching basketball, but I don't follow anything intimately. All right, what do we got here? I live in Oregon in the US and it's always rainy here. So I have to jump sessions like once every 2 weeks. I get you, man. It gets to be rainy here as well. We're in like a topographical like bowl. Windsor is in like a divot and the Great Lakes surround it. So it's always humid. We're kind of like the Florida of Canada. And I'm not even fronting. Like we get stupid hot and humid in the summer. Alan, wanted to let everybody know 1 month as a PPA athlete, and it's been one of the best things that ever happened to me. Couldn't recommend it enough. Hey, much love, brother. You put in the work. We just provide you the tools, right? You got to go to work. Thank you. What's the best way to increase vertical jump? There's too many ways to say a best way, and it's irresponsible of anybody to tell you there's one best way. The only best way I know is to take a step and keep those steps moving forward. Consistency is king, always. Not going to lie, season 4 animated is getting worse. Okay, Tony. I'll keep an eye out for it. I like to form my own opinions, but I appreciate the insight. Neil, not too sure if it's invasive, but what are your goals for the PPA brand and channel? It's not invasive. I'm pretty transparent with things. So beyond our channels, right? Beyond YouTube. So I'll give you two-part, right? So the goals for PPA as a brand is to be one of, if not the most recognized performance coaching brand. Like we want to obviously be something that's recognized all over the world, but more importantly, that we're helping athletes all over the world. Number 2 is that we keep growing our staff of certified PPA coaches. We have over 50 now all over the world. And we want to be to a point where Project Pure Athlete is synonymous with jumping, specifically in the technique space when it comes to volleyball clubs introducing technique protocol to their athletes in early stages. We have a handful of really strong clubs on board already. We've done work with Team Canada and Team USA in the periphery, the NBA. We're starting to kind of insert ourselves into a bunch of different areas, and it's more about increasing the understanding of jumping as an art form and a skill, and respecting the science, but not over sciencing it. We want people to feel confident with what they understand about jumping beyond the physiological elements of jumping that a lot of people spend a lot of time coaching and teaching, right? RFDs and RSIs and all the metrics around jumping. I want to show people how to fall in love with the art of jumping and what that really means. So as far as the channel, like YouTube, Instagram, things like that, Instagram, we're just continuing to grow as it's just happening. I'm not like actively trying to make it grow. We're just running our business. I mean, YouTube and Instagram are the kind of cornerstones of our business, right? Mostly all of our leads come in through Instagram and YouTube. So for us, we're here because of you, and we're doing what we can because of you. Yes, I'm putting the work in to put that stuff out in front of you, but still have to like it and support it. So I'm super appreciative to everybody for taking that time. So YouTube, shoot, I mean, I believe that we're 100,000 subscriber channel easy. That being said, we're just getting a buzz and we're starting to grow. It's kind of the same as Instagram. It's kind of slow and steady. We're coming up on 30,000, and last year we were under 10,000. So who knows? Just keep putting quality stuff out in our eyes, and wrap it in a wrapping paper of love and good intention, and hope the right people find it. That's it. All right, what do we got here? Any recommendations on good shoes for dunking on concrete? I'm big on finding a shoe that feels good for your own foot and not prescribing a specific shoe. I personally jumped and liked like a good ground feel. Like I don't like a huge thick sole. I have a pair of, I don't know where they are, KD 10s in here somewhere that have like the full, air pocket. They're comfortable to just like chill in. I don't like jumping in them personally because of the way I jump. A little bit more reactive, so I like to be able to feel the floor. I jumped really well in the Kobe series. The 6s and 9s were my favorite by far. A couple of the Currys were nice. Kyrie's got a decent shoe. I like a low or mid-low shoe, so I have good ankle movement. Yeah, KD 12, Kobe 6, Kobe 5, super good cushion. Yep, absolutely, Jacob. That's kind of what I would have recommended. Fixing my feet now, but my knees and hips are itching again. Is it normal? I'm fixing something and the other stuff is suffering because of it. I'd be speculating. I don't know exactly what you're doing. It could be possible that, trying to fix your feet and the protocol involved with that is that maybe fixing your knees, wasn't something that happened fully. We have a great knee repair program that's all body weight and bands, and it's a full athletic program. So it's not just working your quads and your lower legs, it's your full body. So I'd recommend checking that out as well. Again, like I don't know, could be creating some compensations elsewhere just by the way you're moving and the type of exercise selection. But yeah, I mean, I've heard of it before for sure. For sure, bro. Kobe's are also super light and feel light on your feet. Facts. Yep, 100%. It is personal preference. And at the end of the day, if it feels good in your foot and you move well in it, you'll play better in it. You'll jump better in it. Artessa, I love your energy. I love your energy. Appreciate that. I love when I get a nice big smiley face emoji. I feel it in my hearts. Thanks for all your videos. Any tips on practicing group sports after college or school? Yeah, get involved. Reach out. Communities usually have a good, I played some mixed volleyball in this area here. It's called the Windsor Amateur Mixed Volleyball League. They have like tiers, like 1 through 7. And I was able to play in an upper tier with like ex-college and university athletes and ex-pros. But you can find something in your area, usually community centers. Again, this is all, COVID dependent. But yeah, just put those feelers out. Facebook's good for throwing, little questions out. Anybody know where I can get into pick a sport and try, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because at the end of the day, everybody's out there for the same reason, mostly, is to just have some fun, learn, grow. Do you think TikTok would boost publicity? We have a TikTok. I don't really use it. I think it's got like 11,000 subs or followers, whatever you want to call them on there. I put a few videos up a while back, and then I went back and all of a sudden we had a bunch of followers. It might, I'm not going to lie, we just have a lot of social media right now to tend to, and a lot of other priorities. It will be something that we dive into. I kind of wish I just rode the wave. But to be perfectly honest, I want the content to, I'm big on like content having a purpose and a meaning. So I just haven't figured out a good format for TikTok for our videos and how that looks. Um, you know, when did you discover the importance of jump technique? I've always understood that technique plays a very important role in anything in athletics, right? I think we spend a lot of time in any sport we do picking up the technical aspects. Think about any practice you've ever been to. If you're in basketball when you're young, you learn, right, the release, you learn how to hold the ball, you learn efficiency, you learn how to move your feet properly, how to do a layup, how to do an overhand pass, how to forearm pass, how to serve. And we spend all this time working all these skills, but really have skimmed over the importance of one of the biggest skills, which is jumping. Jumping's a skill. Jumping's not just, get light, provide force and jump high. Like you will until you don't jump any higher, and then you realize that there's a lot more behind it. Like it is the most complex, intricate series of events that our human body can do without any external, stimulus sources. Like we're taking our whole body and leaving the floor with it and exceptionally high and performing a task. So it's important because to produce power is one thing, but if you're bleeding that energy through inefficiency, right? So I think it's understanding biomechanics and physics helps because that you understand some of the rudimentary elements of how to create and harness power and I think that's really the most important thing to consider is efficiency. But so 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I posted. So I've always had social media. I've been on YouTube posting coaching videos since 2007, long before some of you were probably, on the playground hands with your crush and eating apples. But I've been posting videos for a long time, and as I transition kind of into the upper like years of my coaching, or where I'm at right now anyway, my posts on Instagram were kind of similar to everybody else's, where I was posting my athletes squatting and doing all the traditional stuff in the gym. And then one day I was working with one of my volleyball girls, and we were working on jump technique, stuff I've been doing for a long time. People used to come to me in the city and for jump work because they knew me as the jump guy. They'd be like, oh yeah, there's that jump guy, that guy, because I was a pro dunker. People knew me in the city in different leagues because I would go in there and I was the guy that was just jumping stupid high, or I saw a YouTube video or something like that. So I posted this video of my athlete jumping, side angled jump. She touched like 10-1, I think. So I got her, she was like a 9-9 touch. And within a few months we had her about 10-1. And I posted that video, and then I explained what I was doing with her in detail, talking about, accelerating through a jump and the penultimate stride and pushing and punching the foot and body position. And that wasn't a conversation happening anywhere. Okay. And I can promise you that because I was consuming all the information on jumping and jump technique that wasn't out there. Jump technique was being talked about in the world of track and field, as it has been for many, many years. But 2 foot, there was no coaching on it. There was no videos at this point on YouTube on jump technique and things like that, things of that nature. So I just started talking about jumping in the way I knew how, and people. So my videos at that point were probably getting 6, 7, 800 views. This video got 750,000 views in the first week, and my channel went from like 3,500 people to 10,000 in about 6 weeks. And from 10,000 to 20,000 in like the next 2 months. And we just kept growing from there. And I realized that people were starving for this information that I just had, right? I'd always been coaching this. I've always, since I can remember 10 plus years ago with athletes, just this is how I train them. So I started to create a narrative around technique and a nomenclature of vocabulary, right? Penultimate stride, plant foot, block foot were something I was aware of from track and field, but allocating that to 2 foot became important. Then cues and behaviors, right? Accelerating through your jump, not to your jump, pushing through your penultimate stride. If you hear push through the penultimate stride, that came from when I started talking about it years ago. Punching your block foot, that last contact, right? Staying stacked, being stacked through your takeoff, right? That shoulder, hip, ankle alignment on takeoff. All of these components of jumping were just not being discussed. So I rode that wave, and I more and more content and research more and more. And Very quickly became an authority on jump technique, and I could substantiate that because I've been doing it for so long. And then you start seeing the channels that pop up coaching jump technique and utilizing very similar language to the language that I've been using and very similar cues. And then those conversations start. But at the end of the day, that's like one of the fondest forms of flattery. And that was alliteration in its finest right there. But that's a form of flattery that I will, love and love and love to the day I die. Is if you don't feel that it's necessary to come out and talk to me and learn from me, you just want to take the stuff we do and package it as your own. That's all you. When it comes down to it, people are going to know when they spend any more than 5 minutes with me, where my passion is and what I know about jumping. And that's a lot. I'm cocky about it, but it's just the truth. Sorry if this is laggy. Okay, that was a big tangent. Is Haiku the first anime you watched? Yes. Yes, it is. How much does upper body movement really affect jumps? It really affects it a lot. I don't have like a specific number for you, but the synchronization of your upper body, the power, the strength of your lats, your shoulders play a big role in being able to produce powerful impulses off the ground. It's snowing in Oregon. Actually, I'll show you guys this. Let me show you this. So I was talking to Chase earlier. He's my partner. He lives in Vegas. He goes, check this out, man. This is in Las Vegas. You can see this. Snowing at PPA Las Vegas. Yeah. Vegas rarely gets snow. And then this was out in front of my place today. Well, not in front of my place, when I got my illegal haircut today. So we got snow here too. I feel that snow. It's tough. It's tough. All right. Blah, 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 blah. I'm coming up here. What can you train for constantly jumping 100%? You can't constantly jump 100%. It's not possible. Got you, Edwin. Have you ever done anything with Ottawa clubs? Volleyball clubs. I've met a bunch of people from Ottawa clubs at like OVAs, but I used to compete in track and field in Ottawa all the time. But I'm trying to, off the top of my head, I can't remember. How much? Blah, blah, snowing this. Alan, Jacob, you know your stuff. Basically the same answer that Coach gave. Yeah. What answer was that? Personal preference. Yeah. Shoes. I got you. There we go. Coming down. Tony, what's it called? Volleyball video games. Hey, my vertical. I don't know what my vertical is right now. My prime, it was 48 inches, which is 4 feet, which is pretty high. My highest spike touch ever was 11'9.5". I have a 7'10" reach. So technically my highest official recorded vertical at a combine was 47.5 inches, but I've jumped higher than that multiple times. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube of me dunking to substantiate the bounce. Now it's probably, so I'll let you in on something. All right. This is exclusive. I'm making a bit of a comeback. I'm trying to make a bit of a comeback. And what I mean by that is my training has just changed. I have a really, really, really big strength base I created over the last 24 weeks. Got very strong. My back feels good. I had a really bad back injury, and I'm going to start transitioning into training to be able to jump again. And the goal is this year to record an official 40-inch vertical at 37 years old and dunk basketball on camera again. And I think I will be able to do that. I'm very confident that I can if I stay healthy. If I had to guess my vert right now off a full approach, probably 36 to 38 if I had to guess. But I also weigh about 216 pounds right now. So when I'm at my prime of jumping in this year, I'll probably be closer to 205. I am, how tall am I? I'm almost 6'1". I'm almost 6'1", 184 centimeters. Yeah, I'm trying to, I'll give you the conversion here. My highest spike touch. Let's just do this. Let's go 11 foot, 9.5 inches in centimeters. I don't know the conversion in my head either. It is, 360 centimeters. 360. I don't know if that is pretty good. It's pretty good for a 6 foot, half-inch guy. My volleyball season's coming up in 3 months. Theoretically, if I was able to drop 8 pounds while maintaining or increasing my strength using weights, is that an efficient way to increase my vertical? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As long as you can, you're dropping weight healthily, you're not going into a deficit and losing muscle mass. You're pretty tall, though. I'm not short, not super tall as an athlete, but being tall has no real bearing on your vertical potential. It has a bearing on your max touch, but even then, at 11 foot 9.5, I was still jumping nearly 4 feet in the air. So you have passion. Talk a lot about technique, overall mechanics, and the PPA brand. But was it scary starting your own brand? I'm sure there is insane competition. Neil, you ask great questions, and I can tell that you are probably more toward my age on here, if I had to guess. Yeah, absolutely. It's scary often, and it's not so much scary in the sense, in the literal sense of the word, where it's more like, it's funny. Like, I'm not at a loss for words. I'm just trying to make sure this makes the most sense possible. When you I put everything on the line, right? And I'm fueled by passion, yes, but I'm also fueled by my family. There's this like juggling act that happens between like how much risk you're willing to take, how much you're willing to put everything on the line. And I feel like, as cliche as it is, without the risk, there's no reward. I've just taken every advantage and every opportunity I've ever had to coach and teach and try to keep myself rooted in what I've always believed, which is education first. Create smarter, more concise athletes, and as a result, people talk about you, and they say and they respect what you do, and that's what I've tried to stay true to. But yeah, it's scary. There's competition. We don't view many people as competition, and not because we're so much better than everybody. There's billions of people on this planet, and there's plenty of people, plenty of room, plenty of food for everybody to eat. It's just a matter of staying in our lane. We stay out of a lot of drama. At the end of the day, people know who we are. People know who I am in my space, and I think they respect me for that. And some people talk shit, and that's their own prerogative. I got no ill will toward anybody. My vert is around 36, 38. Also trying to reach that 40-inch vert. Got you, man. You'll get there. You'll get there, man. Absolutely. Did I ever play volleyball? Yes. Played volleyball for many, many years. Thank you for all the work you've done. Sorry, my English errors. I'm Brazilian. Hey, we have a Brazilian PPA coach, Igor. My jumps are improving very well following your lessons. Thank you, Pedro. Thanks for that feedback. Appreciate you. If you really want it, you can make time to exercise in your own schedule. That's absolutely it. If it's a priority for you, you'll find time. When people are like, I don't have any time, it's just an excuse. Sorry to call a spade, it's an excuse. Do you think it's optimal to have 2 strength days, 2 plyo days, 2 jump days, and a rest day? Well, plyo days and jump days are essentially the same thing, right? If you're talking about like jump skill days, technique days, you can do like sub-maximal jumps. But like plyo and jumping, right? Jumping is plyometric output. I would probably strength or structure things differently myself, but that's just me. It might work for you. We tend to favor, if you're not in season, we probably have you 3 to 4 days strength work. There'd be a lot of accessories and little exposures to explosive stuff. Maybe 1 plyo, 1 jump specific day, like a dunk day, and a rest day would still have you moving a little bit. I didn't get in contact with Victoria yet. I still need all your help. Go blow her videos up, comment. Hopefully she gets to notice. She got a bigger channel, and I get that. Like on Instagram, people will, I'll all of a sudden get a comment like, you never respond to anything. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I've never seen your, handle before. And then I go look because there's like 3 inboxes, right? There's primary, general, and then there's like the the overflow inbox where we have to approve stuff, and that's always at 99. We clear that and it's back. We clear it and it's back because people ask questions. So we do what we can. Which position played offside, right side in volleyball? I also like played middle at times because I was able to jump fairly high, so I was able to put up good blocks and be fairly imposing there. But I mean, when you're playing at the levels that I was playing at, a lot of tall people, was very Hinata-ish, where I was like, I might be 6 foot, but this guy's 6'10", so long arms. But I used to love putting an absolute clinic on with somebody that was way bigger than me, and they just couldn't block me. Tell you a quick story. So I played in one exhibition game in my 4th year university before I had to quit. And I played a couple of the games. And I was excited to play. I wanted to play. I was pretty good. I wasn't going to start, but I was going to be an active part of that team. We had a really good team. And this guy had my number for probably the first half of the game. He kept putting hands on everything and deflecting. I couldn't get anything past him. And my setter was a buddy of mine. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Why are you trying to hit through him and hit around him?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Dude, you jump higher than everybody here." He's like, "Hit over him." He gave me this high and outside back set, and I absolutely destroyed a line shot over the top of this guy's fingertips. And the look he gave me when I landed was like mad respect. He gave me a fist bump through the net, and he was like, "You got me on that one. That was unreal." I don't even think I ever jumped higher than that. I was so motivated to put a little bit of work in on him. So, second here, my wife just texted me, and I always have to, am I okay to eat by 5? She's such a wonderful person. That sounds perfect. Period. Just on live right now, narrating this message in front of everybody. ... I love you. ... Kiss, kiss. ... Kiss. XOXO. XOOOXX. Now that says XOXO Expo. I'm still narrating. My wife, as you could imagine, just shakes her head at me constantly. She's like, "You are an absolute idiot." So this is the message. Hold on. Focus on that. There it is. Oh, it's backwards. It says, "That sounds perfect. Just on live right now, narrating this in front of everybody. Everybody, I love you. Kiss, 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 XOXO, Expo, OO." Send. This would be my dream situation. What do you mean by that? You want me to send you some XOs? Papu, nice hanging out with you too. I wish I like live. I mean, I dig it. I think dig it. Wow. I sound old. I wish I could just like be in a gym with everybody and we can meet everyone. And I miss that. I do. That message narration was cringe. Not going to lie, but it was funny. Soaring flame. I am cringe incarnate. That's who I am. I own my cringe. I lean into my cringe. My athletes love me, cringe and all. That's it. I tell dad jokes. I rock the dad jokes. What else do I do that's cringe? Make silly faces. I like to make weird noises with my son. I'm a amateur beatboxer. Very amateur, not very good at all, but I think it's hilarious and awesome. And that's about it. My voice is starting to go away. I haven't talked this much in a while. What is considered a decent vertical jump? It depends. There's a lot of variables. At play. For me, like a decent, like when I'm looking at someone and going, okay, there's potential here. Like for a male, if I'm saying 17, 18 years old and above, probably something over 36 inches. Female over 30. And that's getting into the decent category. And when I say decent, I mean like good. Oh, son, and yeah, dream situation. I thought you wanted me to send you. Hold on, Kelly wrote me back. You ready for this? She said, "Expo 00, my favorite." Oh, I got a picture. I almost. Okay, it's an appropriate photo. It's actually of my son. You guys want to watch a video that she just sent me of what my son is doing currently? Oh, let's open it up. Open it up, bro. Get your shit together. You ready? This is little Jordan and my dog Lincoln. They're just hamming out together. They love each other so much. They love each other so much. And I'm like, I'm probably 20 meters away from them right now. I'm in my detached garage gym office. And I have to use the washroom in the house all the time to go to the bathroom. And when I have to walk by my son, I'm like, oh, God, I just want to stay in here and hang out. But I have to be able to push by and say, I love you. And then he waves to me and he blows me kisses. And I'm like, damn it, this sucks. My heart hurts. But my new house, so we're building our dream home. It is our dream home. It's right on the lake. It's about 45 minutes from here. And in the back of the property, a fairly large gym for a house, almost 1,000 square feet. The one I'm in right now is about 390. So this is quite a bit bigger, 2.5 times as big as the one I'm in now. And the ceilings are going to be 18 feet high. And it's going to have a bathroom out there and everything. I don't have to go in the house. I can just go out for my day and work and be in the environment. And then that's where we'll be doing our lives, is in the new spot. All right. Sorry, I tell corny jokes all the time. Corny jokes are the best, the bestest. Would you rather prefer weightlifting or plyo for increasing vertical? Depends on the type of athlete. Some athletes thrive more on a heavier dose of strength work, and some a heavier dose of plyo work. Both are required, but the balance will depend on the neurology of the athlete, how sensitive the neurology, whether they're a highly elastic athlete or a little bit more strength based. I am a very elastic based athlete, and my counterpart Chase is a very strength based athlete. For instance, right? We both jump 48 inches, but he could back squat like 500 pounds, and I was like 360 pounds. Right? He could standing jump 40 inches. I'd standing jump like 33, but you give me like one step and we bounce the same. So it's just need more reactive impact. Have I had a chance to meet T-Dub? Yes, of course. Yeah, Terry and I know each other. Talked many times, hung out at the dunk camp. It was cool. So I hadn't seen him in a while. I've dunked with him before. And when I saw him at the dunk camp, so he was up on the stage with Jordan, and I was just he was meeting all the campers, and I was down there, and he looked down and he's like, jukebox. He's like, get up here. And he pulls me up on the thing and puts his arm around me and just looks out at the entire crowd of dunk campers and says, this is jukebox. You better recognize. He basically just gave me a lot of props, and hearing that from one of the GOATs is phenomenal. Great guy. Love Terry. Right now, I'm jumping something close to 33 inches. There we go, Pedro. 16 years old. That's great. That's really good. On your way. I was similar in high school. I had my first dunk when I was in 10th grade, but my vertical was not near what it was when I was in my later 20s. It just took me a while. Plan on being, I'll let this comment through. We can use the word shit on here. That's okay with me. I plan to be a volleyball player in the future. There we go, Pedro. Got to put that work in. Is hypertrophy needed for strength gains? It's not needed for strength gains, but it should be a part of your protocol at some point, just to build tendon integrity and joint strength. Hypertrophy is good for increases blood flow, time under tension, and essentially increases the tolerance of a joint. So it's part of it. Have you ever met Vernon Evans? No, I have not. Hoping to get my first dunk in 2021. There we go. Goals are great. Do you have volleyball videos on your channel? We do. Not of like me playing, but we have volleyball content on here. Yes. Some breakdowns of jumps. We have some reactions. Yeah, go pick and see what you can find. Leave me a comment. Say, hey, I was in your live. Go practice your ladder drills. Lateral drills. High five. I want to get a little bit bigger, but maintain my speed. So any advice? Yeah, that's going to be, it'll take some time, right? If you're trying to get a little bit of like mass and keep your speed, getting bigger with actual lean tissue takes time. But you can absolutely. It's just make sure that you don't go into any, great big deficit calorically, because you want to make sure that you have a lot of power output as you build more mass and weigh more, subsequently require more force to be able to propel your body forward. Have you ever met an NBA player? Yeah, many. Yeah. Trying to give you some good stories. When I was in high school, I was part of the Canadian top 100 basketball recruits in my 11th grade year, and we played at the Air Canada Center in an all-star game as part of this camp that I was at. And we played, and then right after that, we sat front row at a open Raptors practice. So we got to stand along the entranceway as the players made their way to the court. So I got to meet like Vince and Tracy and Antonio Davis and all those, like my heroes, right? Vince is a super nice guy. They're all great. They're all great people. LeBron judged a contest that I placed second in Cleveland and met him. Daryl Dawkins, a lot of NBA players over the years. Chase spends a lot more time in the NBA basketball scene. He played for Team Kobe and played for Team Durant in a couple different events. And he's got a lot of great photos with Kobe, and it was an absolute tragedy. And I felt for him because he knew him a lot better than I did. So yeah, met a lot of NBA players. I did a jump analysis for Dwight Howard last year. That was cool. That was fun. Right before the dunk contest. And he was working with Chase, and I couldn't be at NBA All-Star Weekend, unfortunately, but I did a jump analysis for Superman himself. What age was my first dunk? 16. 16 was a 1 foot, one hand self bounce off the run in gym class. That was fun. It was fun. All right, couple more questions here. I got to get going soon. We're going to be having dinner in like 15 minutes, and I want to make sure I can go in and help my wife. I know, right? It was wild. It's funny, you don't realize how much someone affects your life, even though you've peripherally like never really met them. But I grew up obviously a huge Kobe fan. Him being a young athlete transitioning to the NBA, I felt that because I was young. He wasn't much older than me at all, and to know that him and his daughter. I mean, it was it was a really hard time for a lot of people, and he was such an advocate for the process and the details and the hard work, which is everything that we stand for. Is what Kobe stood for. And his legacy stands for now. So yeah, it's wild. Absolutely wild. Yeah. I can't believe it's been a year either. So everybody like these lives? You a fan of this? I'm going to kind of advertise the next one further in advance. Let me know, video crisp, audio crisp, everything good. I want to make sure that everything's as good as it can be for y'all. So should I include hypertrophy workouts in my schedule? I'm a 19-year-old volleyball player. I have a good vertical. It really depends, right? If you're in season, I wouldn't be doing a lot of hypertrophy. I'd be doing a lot of like shoulder maintenance work, rotator cuff work, thoracic spine, mobility, and upper back strengthening. Be doing some like bottoms up kettlebell work. And you take a kettlebell and hold it with the big part up, the actual bell, hold the horn, hold it up, squeeze tight. You can do some presses, you can do some holds, some 90-degree holds, and fortify the shoulders. Keep your hips healthy. In the off season, you can do a little bit of hypertrophy, and then you're going to transition that to a little bit more, lower rep strength work. Excuse me, I'm ready for dinner. And you can definitely use it in there. Who's my favorite character from Haikyuu? Also, the quality is great. Awesome. Good to hear. I'm still Team Hinata for sure. I love listen, I'm a fan of all the characters. I'm a fan of the show and the way that the dynamic of the show is working. I'm starting to really like how Kagayama is kind of like breathing more, and like he's not everything's as like urgent. You can tell that he's starting to mature a little bit. I'm a fan of Man Bun. He's a soft-spoken giant tank of a human. Yeah, I'm a fan of all. I just reacted to episode 12, so that'll be posted tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. If you're in it for the Haikyuu reactions, I appreciate you. I'd recommend, if you're serious about anything else, check out our other content, support your boy over here, and it only helps us obviously reach more people. So what's for dinner? Shoot, I don't know what's for dinner today. We had stuffed turkey yesterday. Kel's a great cook. She's so good. And she takes care of me for dinner all the time. So other than that, I cook for myself during the day because I eat a bit different from her and my son, just with I have like a bit of an intolerance to elements of gluten, and got to keep a slightly anti-inflammatory diet as best I can. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Love from India. Love back from Canada. And we'll talk to you soon, right? We'll do another live next week, and we will advertise that live earlier so y'all know, and you can clear your schedules. I'm not sure. It's probably going to be like an afternoon, my time live. It just makes more sense. But at times I can do like a Wednesday. I could probably do an evening, my time, like a 7:30. So we'll play around with that. Okay. In the meantime, go follow our content, comments, leave likes and such. Appreciate you. You're all studs. You're all freaking studs. COVID high five. All right. Now I'm going to end the stream awkwardly.